We are finally here at the end of the road, and we have only one thing to say about it.
I was not in control of that situation at all.
Yeah, this is Mike, and with me in the ethereal plane of the underworld in whatever that country's called in the stage play, we have Steve, who's here in spirit. And I literally mean spirit because he's not physically present. And we're here to discuss Kamen Rider Gaim Gaiden 3, Bravo and Gridon, and Zangetsu Gaiden stage play because someone told us it's very important, it's canon, and it's important that we watch it because it ties to the events of Gaim Gaiden 3. Whoever that person is, I'm not trusting you again to curate what content we have to cover on our channel anymore.
That's right, Morty. They're full of crap, Morty. But yeah, no, so when are stage plays ever official canon to anything? I mean, they're wonderful things to look at. I mean, Japan has made several. Fist of the North Star, Yu Yu Hakusho.
I love the Yu Yu Hakusho one.
Jujutsu Kaisen. My Hero Academia got one. The Inuyasha. So many. One Piece has gotten them. I'm like, yeah, but when have you ever said to yourself, I wonder if this is canon? I'm like, no.
If anything, sometimes the recaps.
It's a clip show in real life.
Yeah, it's a stage version of a clip show. You take some creative liberties, but it's still recounting things that already happened.
At that point, I'm just like, you could cue the Rick and Morty clip again because I'm like, why are we even? Yeah. Why did we even sit here? Why did we do this? It's like we're masochists. That's why.
Yeah.
I was not in control of that situation at all.
Yeah, as you've seen from the clip show that we do at the end of every season, based on this season, it was a mess.
Here's the thing, folks. Okay, I know a lot of people can probably think like, okay, especially me. They're like, did you even like Gaim? And again, I have stated before that this was the first time, and I was actually kind of excited because now I get to see what the hype was behind Gaim. Mm-hmm. And I was watching it fresh. I wasn't watching it rewatching it. I wasn't reliving nostalgia. I had no rose-tinted glasses on at all. None. I'm watching this raw dog. I'm going in. And the whole green eggs and ham thing, I'm like, oh man, here we go. And I gotta say, 100%, I did enjoy Gaim. I enjoyed its story. I enjoyed its characters. The models and the designs, as again I've stated, were kind of stupid, but they grew on me. Even so much that I got 3 decals now on my truck. Mm-hmm. Next to my Samurai Kabuto Senpai Squad sticker, so I have all of Gaim on there. All thank you to a friend of mine, Chris V, who does a bunch of Sentai decals and prints. Check him out at Chris V on Instagram. But yeah, no, I will say I really did enjoy this series, but my God, the pacing and the continuity and what's canon and what's not canon and all this media that we had to consume to supposedly fully understand Gaim. And I'm like, bro, I understood Gaim just from these 40 some odd episodes. I don't think I needed to watch the movies or anything. Again, I said the soccer special was my favorite. I did enjoy that. Didn't enjoy the final few moments of it because I said that was stupid.
Uh-huh.
But again, why you guys try to sit through how we did it. You know, you guys try to sit through how we did. Go through our format and tell me that you do not feel like some type of weight on your shoulders after you're like, oh my god.
Is this the glory you seek or the burden you must bear?
It's really. I mean, if we were watching just the series itself, and maybe like, okay, we're gonna sprinkle in the movies again. This is the gimmick riders. This is full glory gimmick riders. So they had a budget to start promoting movie exclusives and clip shows and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay. See, this is why people look back at the old, like even like Forza was the cut, I guess, to like they got to the point, and they had like maybe one episode of clip shows, and then that was it.
Yeah, see what I appreciate about O's. See what I appreciate about O's is that the gimmick toy of the season is core medals. But the thing about the core medals is to get the essential ones, including the mid form and the final form, it's like they already come in packs of 3. And it's not like they're randomized. No, they come in preset sets of 3 with the same color trio. So it's like if you get the super best belt, you already got red, yellow, and green. And then 3 more booster packs. You got gray, blue, and purple. That's it for the TV show. All you need is just one more kit for the movie for the orange one. And maybe try to get the black ones from the winter film, but those I think are only exclusive to like Gashapon or Candy Toy. I mean, I have all 24 of them. To be fair, I have them in.
I actually did go through the process of getting all the core medals, and even find the CSM version with the extra medals that were later on developed. You know, but and again, love it.
Yes.
I just played it. It's one of my favorites. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you were a completionist, you had to buy like 3 sets of that one set because apparently the Greeds have 9 medals.
Yeah, 10 actually, but one was destroyed in order to give them life.
Yeah, but it wasn't necessary. It's like, no, that's if you want to. Whereas in Gaim, it's like, oh, okay, but some of them I see are like, but then there's the exclusive ones and the gachapon ones and all, and then that goes into movies and specials and stage plays and so on and so forth. And it's just like, there is too much media.
Yeah. And here's the thing. As you like, I was very transparent. I never collected the fresh ones from the Hyper Battle video. You know, the fresh orange and fresh pineapple. I never collected the dark orange and dark lemon from the football movie.
Right.
But aside from those, every Lockseed you've seen me use on the show, and I tried showing as many of them as possible. I think the only one I didn't show yet was probably watermelon, kiwi, and mango, but only because like they're just like filler ones anyways. What's it called? The sunflower seed one is exclusively Candy Toys, so like yeah, obviously. But yeah, so let's go over. There's 13 core lock seed plus 6 more energy lock seed. 7 if you count Hex. You got Kachidoki, Kiwami, you got Showa, Hesse, you got Golden Silver Apple, you got Dark Apple, you got Yomi Grape, you got Taboo, Proto 10, Lockseed 99 from Duke, and Messiah Pomegranate. These are the only 2 lock seeds that I have that are CSM. Technically, I got 5 of them. But other than these 2, the only other CSM lock seed that you've seen me use was the Decoy Dongri and only for that one joke.
Yeah. But
there's too many.
There's too many, and
Yeah.
Again, that just kind of gave it to the media. It's like what that was the thing. I guess they learned. I guess maybe because it kind of felt like some episodes were just really just focusing on that lock seat. Like that's it. They had to like stretch it out, and then it's like we don't know what else to do because I didn't know it was 40 some odd episodes. Most Kamen Riders go up to 50. But again, not to say that Gaim was bad. I want to say that maybe you kind of got a little too carried away with the gimmicks there, boys. But other than that, I love the show. I now regret not. I mean, I don't regret meeting Kota's actor. I don't regret spending time with him and talking to him, and we were just talking like people. But now that I know Kota, now that I've seen this entire show, I regret not getting his autograph. I actually told him that I could not accept an autograph from him because I never watched the show. So just having it, I'm like, I will watch it eventually. I will, but I just don't feel right asking for one because I've not seen anything you've done, and I don't want to be seen as a pest. But hopefully you come back. Hopefully he does, and I get a chance to actually speak with him again. Just like I have
Furuhara
with
came back for Morphicon.
Yeah, Furuhara, the gold standard right there. That guy's totally rad. As I've said, he's a totally amazing guy.
Yeah.
Look, the whole show itself is amazing, and it literally was. I mean, I've compared it once, and someone actually laughed, but I was like, "Is it not? It's the Japanese Wonder Years." Because it's a story about going from childhood to adults. Because where they started, compared to now, towards the end, it's like, wow, we went from like carefree lives and everything now to like we got to be adults. We got to be in part of society and maybe start making a home or colonizing a whole new planet for a bunch of bug humanoid hybrids.
Yeah,
those basic things of adult life, But and even the Gaidens themselves have been entertaining. I mean, I did enjoy Takatora and Bear and Kaito Kobayashi. Baron. I actually learned that Baron actually retired from acting and he's now a chef or a cook.
What's funny
has his own.
I was watching a clip where he was making a what's it called, a mango tart or something like that, and he actually got Kota and Mai to get a cameo on that. Wait, this feels like a behind the scenes extended episode of the what's it called, the Hyper Battle video, because like, as I don't remember if you watched the Hyper Battle video or not, because like I know we did discuss it though, but in the Hyper Battle video, like there's a whole segment where Kaito's is like going through the entire process of how to make what's it called, a citron tart.
Yes. I mean, the guy knows how to cook. Apparently, he had a signing for his new cookbook that's available. So really cool. Bless you, Kobayashi. It kind of sucks that we don't see you on screen anymore, but we send love and support in everything that you do. We need good chefs out there. And as for everyone else, thank you for everyone, the cast and crew, for making this show, and especially like these Gaim Gaidens. I'm like, you know what? I really did feel like these should have been in there, but you know what? I'm glad that the last two, the one that we're reviewing today, and Knuckle and Duke, kind of were prequels and also like sequels, because it didn't take place during, or didn't feel like it did. Yeah. Because now we end this Gaim Orange Parfait with our two patissiers, the two best boys, Jinochi and Oren Alphonse-Pierre.
Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room. So we were demanded to discuss the Zangetsu Gaiden stage play, and because we were told under no uncertain terms that things that happen in this play will play a role in what happens in these Gaim Gaidens. And I'm going to be honest with you, having watched the entire 2-hour play. By the way, the effects, the stage effects that they use for the play, like, were actually pretty cool. Like I'm not going to lie. But as far as how much of the play played a role in the actual Gaiden, like the Gridon Bravo, yeah, only like a 5-minute scene was important, and only because this is how a certain character gets their hands on a certain plot device. Okay, so thankfully it is available on Blu-ray, and I did watch it twice. So I'm gonna try to summarize as briefly as possible. I'm sorry I'm not gonna be as anal with every minute detail like I usually am, but I just want to get it out of the way so we can focus on the fun part. So the Zangetsu stage play takes place in another country, which looks like where Mongolia would be, but actually like west of Mongolia. And basically, and apparently the Yggdrasil used to do human experimentation in that country 8 years prior to the events of the play. And of course, like, Takatoru goes there because he has to fulfill a promise, because it's his noblesse oblige. And he gets shot by a mysterious person in white. And he ends up having amnesia. So the entire first half of the play...
Whoa. Do not tell me that they pulled out that old trick.
They did.
Oh, my. With Tori, of all people, did the man not suffer enough? He got thrown off a cliff. He got drowned in the river. He died in the sea, came back, and now, we're giving him amnesia. What? Do you guys just hate him or something? By getting shot. Where?
And then falling into a hole that sends him to the underground city. That's literally the name of the city. It's called Underground City.
Well, no one ever said people of the underground were creative in their naming plots.
True.
But, oh my God. Okay. Continue.
Okay. So the only adults that are still left in this country are only from the noble class, while all the adults from the lower class that are now live underground are completely gone. For reasons that, well, do we really need to explain? Because I think we can infer what really happened to them. So pretty much the only characters left that are not like the absolute villains are basically teenagers in their early to mid 20s. And they are basically fighting each other, where the leaders of these gangs have Sengoku drivers, proto Sengoku drivers. So you have Proto Gaim, Proto Baron, Proto Gridon, etc. Instead of dancing, now the play itself has a lot of dance fighting, and the choreography is really good. But inside the context of the story, no, they're not dancing. They're just fighting. It's just from our side. You know, kind of like how in some musicals, it's like, while to us they look like they're dancing, but in their world they're not actually dancing. They're just living normal lives.
It's literally West Side Story, then.
Yeah, basically. I don't know how self-aware West Side Story is about the dance fighting, but yes, to us they're dance fighting. And
did we also mention this show was about dancing? Yeah. There was dancing. There was dancing in the show. Did you all remember that?
But the difference is that in the show, they knew that they were dancing.
All right.
Okay. So yes, you got Team Baroque Red, whose leader becomes Proto Baron. Same costume as Dark Baron, by the way. like the same black suit and everything. And fun fact, the actor who plays Proto Baron, and you might notice that I'm not gonna say the actual names of a lot of these characters because there's really no point
There
to
is no
do
point.
so. There's really no point. But the actor who plays Proto Baron does become Two Kaiser in Zenkaiger.
Oh, it's Golden Pretty Boy.
Golden Pretty Boy, exactly.
The pretty marvelous.
Yeah, pretty marvelous. Yeah, with the two super deformed brothers. Okay, so basically, and to some extent, the proto counterparts have similar personalities to the actual TV counterparts, except for Proto Gridon, whose personality is closer to Hase's than it is to Jinochi. Oh, and there's no Proto Kurokage, in case you're wondering. No, Proto Gridon has Hase's personality, but more loyal. But
I mean,
much
Hase was kind of loyal, but it depends on who it was. But Hase was just stupid in general.
he was stupid. But yeah, so Proto Gridon suffers a similar fate to Hase throughout the play, where eventually he gets like a giant Invis arm, and then he fully transforms into an Invis, and then he has to be killed off. But unlike Koda and Gaim, unlike Koda and Hase, Ein, who is Proto Gaim, he's the only character I'm mentioning. Ein and Glacius, or whatever Gridon's name was, they actually were friends. Like, they were like Koda and Yuya level of friends if Yuya was Gridon instead of an intentional game.
So I guess they actually realized their bullshit mistake and decided,
Yes.
you know what?
For once, they fixed that one mistake. Yeah.
You know what? We got to make them. We got to rectify that because, yeah. Good for them.
Okay, so obviously Ein does find Takatora, who has amnesia, and the two of them try to save the other remaining members of Team Orange Ride, because there's only two other members left by that point. But then the whole three-way rider battle is interrupted by someone wearing Zangetsu suit. We don't know who that is, but we can obviously guess who it is. And no, it's not Michi. And of course, they make a run for it, and then Takatora's memories slowly start to come back. So then it comes to the epiphany that if he comes into more contact with Zangetsu, he might get more of his memories back, and he'll figure out what he's doing, and he might be able to help Ein out with And yeah, so the reason why everyone's fighting each other is because the noble class, they have cameras set up in Underground City, so everyone fights for their entertainment. Basically, think Battle Royale, but without the exploding collars.
I was about to say the Hunger Games,
but you have plant zombies involved, so. Yeah, so they try to encounter Zangetsu again, and this time with the help of both Baron and Proto Baron and Proto Gridon, but this time they get incredibly overwhelmed. And in addition, the noble class hired a mercenary who is also very flamboyant and has a penchant for melons.
there can only be one.
Yeah, I wish there was only one.
There can only be one. I don't care how much more they fucking try to make it.
So he's hired to kill Takatora and possibly any of the other riders, if possible, but mainly focus on Takatora. While Zangetsu explicitly wants Takatora. So, and then some more fighting is involved, and then Ryugen shows up to save Takatora, and you're thinking, oh my god, is that Michi? And even Takatora thinks, wait, are you my brother? He demorphs to reveal that, no, he's some random other dude. No, he's actually the younger brother of the friend that Takatora previously came back for. Because like the reason he came back is because he made a promise to a friend 8 years ago, and it's like this is why I can't die yet. This is my noblesse oblige before he gets shot. So this is the friend's younger brother. And secretly, he actually wants to kill Takatora for revenge. Because, as it turns out, Yggdrasil was doing human experiments. And, yeah. Yes. And apparently, Takatora's friend was originally supposed to be Zangetsu instead of Takatora. But the proto Sengoku drivers did not work as well, so he basically he got infected by the Helheim plants, and so this system, which I regret to not remember the name of because it doesn't really matter. Basically, it's the plot. Look, I'm gonna make it really simple. It's the plot of Duke Nuckle. It's the plot of Duke Knuckle.
That's literally what I was
thinking. Yeah. And then, like, I'm just going to skip a lot of stuff. So basically, it's like, Ein wants to unify all of the gangs so that they can work together to escape and defeat the noble class. And even though they've come to terms with Takatora being a former noble, they still have faith in him. So, like, they trust him to help them out. And then, and then Zangetsu shows up, and he's like, he attacks not Michi, and it's like, but why? And then, he reveals himself to be none other than Takatora's friend. Turns out he somehow survived. But then he shoots his younger brother.
Okay. Did you skip a part? Because I'm like, what?
Yeah, it feels that way, even when you don't skip a part. Instead of Michi Takatora in this on this side, it's Takatora that fake Takatora that kills fake Michi.
Why?
And here's his explanation. You see, no one is allowed to kill Takatora except me. So I can't have you killing him now, can I? He killed his brother. Well, he didn't kill his brother yet. He just shot him. He shot his brother to prevent him from stealing his prize.
Did we not castrate or belittle Michi for this? So we must now do the same. So we must now do the same to fake Tori.
Yes.
Shame.
Yeah. No, it was really weird. And also the reason why he's still alive is because he now has the power to summon Redu's giant axe.
What the hell is that?
That's right. He can turn into an wolf from the radiation caused by that device.
Okay. I accept it.
And obviously because not Bravo saw Takatora fight earlier, he's like, I'm terminating my contract because I've fallen in love with someone. The most beautiful man I've ever seen in my entire life. The one and only Takatora.
Tori gets a lot of love in this part.
Yeah. No. You might have noticed, but in the Gaiden series, and I mean all 3 installments and the stage play, Takatora gets glazed a lot. Like you got Toka, you got You got Ryoma. You got Belial. And now and then later on, you're gonna get Jean Pierre. But we already knew about Jean Pierre. But the thing is, sorry, Oron Pierre. Why am I having him confused with a different anime Frenchman? Okay, but yeah. So
I thought you were talking about Star Trek.
So in all four of these media, Gaim Gaiden 1, Gaim Gaiden 2, Zangetsu Gaiden, and Gaim Gaiden 3. Takatora is getting so much glaze, man.
He's getting rizzed by the LGBT because they can't help themselves around a strapping man in a suit.
Yes, catch my heart, very melon.
I know the pain. I actually turned down a bunch of people when I was working Pride over here in Palm Springs. Even a couple at Morphicon. I appreciate the love, gentlemen, but I accept it, but not in that way. Thank you.
I'm gonna stay quiet. But it's like, but I appreciate all the love and support from all my fans. Whether it's from podcasting or other extracurricular activities, by which I mean karaoke. I do a lot of singing. But yeah, so now where was I? Oh yeah, so Bilal's like, I'm in love with Takatora. So of course he switches sides to work with Ein to fight the noble class. And there gets to a point where like Ein's has to fight an Invis, having realized that he has to kill his own friend, including his former leader. Even more so now, he has to fight against not Jonochi. And after he kills him, it's like, how do I explain it? Okay, so basically, all three members of Team Orange Ride basically pass out in front of Takatora, so that Ein's body can be possessed by Koda. And Koda's Takatora, you may not believe that you have changed, but you actually did. You became a better person. You believe in your friends. That makes all the difference. You must lead everyone to freedom. And just in case, here, take this. I just made this myself. And yeah, he grabs a shiny green object. And then once Koda leaves Ein's body, everyone else wakes up. It's like, what happened? What happened? And Takatora's like, nothing of consequence really happened. So
just like the stage play.
Yeah, except for literally that one scene that I just explained. So here comes the final act. Okay, so here's what happens. Takatora goes after not Zangetsu, while Ein tries to unify all the other riders in order to lead a rebellion. Obviously, not Baron doesn't agree with him because just like Kaido, he's like, only the strongest can survive. I don't have faith in you. It's like if you want Team Baroque Red to join you, you're gonna have to defeat me in battle. To the death! And of course, they fight each other, and of course, Ein kills them. So, see, what's interesting is that both this scene and the other scene with Takatora, both final battles happen concurrently, but I'm focusing just on the fake Gaim part first, just to get it out of the way. Yeah, he defeats Fake Baron, so then he unifies everyone together, and they lead one final battle of the resistance against the noble class, and let's be honest, they're going to win, even though we don't see it on screen or on stage in this case. Meanwhile, Takatora, he goes to confront fake Zangetsu, and then fake Michi grabs him from behind. The fake Zangetsu. He's like, You used to be cool, man, but you're different. It's like, I've always been cool. What are you doing? I'm gonna pull a Chaozu because I love my brother and you're not him. So he self-destructs, but obviously, what's his name survives, and he reveals his true overlord form, which is basically Red Dew repainted black. So, insert trans reference here.
Okay.
But yeah, so he turns into a black version of Red Dew, apparently, because they just repainted the costume black. And it's like, so like, fake Michi is still barely hanging on for his dear life. And of course, his brother stabs him a couple of times for good measure, and then walks off. It's like, Hakatora, if you really believe that you are just and I am evil, you will face me again later. And of course, he walks off stage, and of course, fake Michi's like, Takatora, my brother is a jerk. I need you to kill him in order to save everyone. So he hands him his Sengoku driver, and of course, Takatora got all his memories back, and of course he goes to confront fake Takatora, and he finally uses the thing that I don't have because it's CSM exclusive, the KLS 04 Kachidoki Melon Lockseed. Kachidoki.
Yeah. Kachidoki. Pretty much it's just a repainted Kachidoki orange, but melon.
Yeah, but green. Not gonna lie, I like the redesigned helmet.
I thought that was, it's gonna show up, but yeah, no, I was like, wait a minute, because I remember that some people at conventions, right, they had repainted the blunderbuss that Gaim had, and they painted it to be like Takatora, like Takatora colors, and I was like, wait, why?
Because they never made a Takatora colored one.
Yeah, but I was like, well, why? I had no idea. As I said, I had no clue. But it's like, again, I was like, wait, so that never happened in the show. He just only had the energy, and that's it. He never got another upgrade after that.
Technically he had a downgrade.
But only in the Gaiden and in the stage play did we finally get to see an upgraded to the energy. So, okay.
Not gonna lie though, I do like the helmet design.
It is actually, it's a very cool looking helmet. I do love it went from a crescent moon to kind of like a full moon. So
yeah,
it is actually pretty badass.
Yeah, and plus I love the black decals around his visor as well. Yeah, it gives me like Ichigo Kurosaki vibes, like in the Fullbring arc. That's what it makes me think about, like when he gets that white skeletal armor type of thing. Anyways, all right, so we're almost at the end here, and so fake Gaim is fighting fake Baron while Zangetsu Kachidoki fights fake Red Dew, and of course, I already said what happened with fake Gaim, but yeah, real Zangetsu kills fake Red Dew, and it's like, yeah, you know what? Go bleep yourself. I'm not gonna make a sentimental speech anymore. So yeah, it turns out, the noble class were the ones responsible for all the bad stuff that happened, and then freaking
ain't it always the way?
Yeah, and then the fake Takatora sacrificed himself so that real Takatora doesn't have to do anything. So no, Takatora, you don't have to feel guilty about killing everyone because you weren't the one that killed everyone.
No, it was the rich. And isn't it kind of fitting that we talk about the rich and how they do what they do during these last few weeks that we will not discuss, but you all know unless you've been under a rock.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I was watching the new Sonic movie
I have
this
not yet.
weekend,
I have not.
and I'm
Hell,
thinking back on like the backstory of this place, and I'm like, y'all ripped off Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, again, Sonic Adventures 2. But
Sonic
yeah,
the Hedgehog,
yeah.
yeah.
But again, I mean, well, again, it's been a long time since I've played any Sonic Adventures, or I've not even seen the movie, so I don't quite remember very
End
well.
credit scene. There's an end credit scene. Stick around for the end credits. For the end credit scene.
Is there going to be another one?
Yes, there will be a fourth movie.
Oh my God! Are we going to introduce Blaze the Cat or the Sky Riders?
I wish, but
Can we introduce Cream the Bunny?
Can we introduce Team Chaotix?
Can we introduce Mighty the Armadillo and the Flying Squirrel?
Oh man,
Hey,
those are
let
very
us-
obscure.
Let us go into the Sonic Sat AM cartoon. Let's do that. Let's make it dark and gritty. Anyway.
Oh, are we gonna introduce Manic the Hedgehog and Sonia the Hedgehog?
We're gonna introduce Steve the Hedgehog. Literally, type in your name into Google and then put the Hedgehog. I'm pretty sure that someone has done it. But yeah. Anyway, so what happened? Now I've opened a can of worms.
There's an actual Instagram profile that has my name, the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's just a hedgehog though.
Well, there you go.
It's just an Instagram. It's just an Instagram of a hedgehog. Okay. Oh, and it's eating tacos. How cute.
Well, there you go.
No, it's a real life hedgehog, not a cartoon hedgehog. But it's eating tacos.
Yeah, that's better because there's it's again, you open that can of worms, it's oh god. But anyway,
so he defeats his best friend, and he's like, you know what? I was able to get by with a little help from my friends.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
You got a friend in me.
You got a friend in me.
Fox, you're my best friend that I've ever had. Been with you such a long time. And so like Takatora like entrusts the underground to Ein as he walks off into the backstage, and then obviously, roll credits, everyone is doing their curtain call, epic music plays, and that's the whole play.
So for not even 5 minutes, there was really no reason to watch this.
The funny thing is that if they just made the TTFC special just 5 minutes longer, they could have asked Gakusano to come back for 5 minutes, or at least get a stunt double with a voiceover.
Yeah.
And just be like, heck, you don't even need to bring Gakusano back. Like you could just bring the actor who played Ein back. And it wouldn't have made any difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stage play, I'll give it an 8 because the story was way too drawn out, and again, it felt like they just copy pasted the plot of Duke and Knuckle, but with Zangetsu as the main character. But I will say this: I did like the special effects they used for the play.
Mm-hmm.
Like they use this translucent screen that comes down.
Yeah, they do that for transformations and stuff like that. For Digimon, Pokemon, they've done many of times where it's like something transforms and it does the screen and it does the animation, lifts up, and it's the thing that they needed. So I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, see, this is the first time I really watched one of those plays all the way through. It's really cool seeing like what modern kabuki is capable of. Because let's be honest, tokusatsu as a whole is a modern televised version of kabuki. But since we're doing a stage production of a tokusatsu, it's kind of like going back to its kabuki roots and seeing what you can do with kabuki using modern technology is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, compared to other anime plays, maybe it's like run of the mill for all I know. As an installment of Kamen Rider Gaim Gaiden, maybe it's unnecessary, but I'm impressed with the work that went into it in terms of choreography, the casting, and the special effects. The writing I didn't care for as much, but I'm impressed with everything else. 8 out of 10.
Right.
Yep. All right. Shall we get into what we really came here for?
The people have been waiting for this last in total 30 minutes.
Yeah, so let's recap a little bit. So, yeah, Gaim Gaiden was originally a movie on Blu-ray with 2 segments, but still 70 minutes. Yeah,
Both
60,
both of the Gaim
65
Gaidens were
minutes.
literally like almost an hour long. They were like almost like about an hour.
Yeah, the
Both
first one
Gaim
was a
Gaidens.
little over an hour. And the second one was about 10 minutes longer than that, but rightfully so because the knuckle portion was a proper 40-minute film.
Right.
And of course, everyone who got the early copies of Gaim Gaiden 2 got a QR code to vote on who will be in Gaim Gaiden 3. And they would end up having to wait for 5 years before the third one comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're expecting an awesome movie. Oh my god, we're finally getting Bravo and Gridon. And by the way, like I said before, I wanted Bravo and Malika to be the 2 main characters for the for Gaim Gaiden 3, and I wanted Bravo to include a lychee lock seed because it would have been perfect. Like you could have like done a repaint of the durian lock seed, and like you could use the what's it called? Use the Ryugen / Malika undersuit to make like a musketeer armor.
Mm-hmm.
See that could have worked, right?
Right.
That's not what they did. They just made a TTFC special where combining the 2 segments is not even half an hour.
No, because I had posted on Insta and both Facebook. I know my Facebook is my own, but still on Insta. And I could only ever find the first part. I don't know what the heck was up with these sites or whatever, but they were just like, no, it's only part 1. I'm like, wait, so you're telling me the entire Gaim Gaiden, Bravo and Gridon is only 10 to 9 minutes?
No.
Until finally, I again, I forget the person's name or whatever, but they said, no. Like, because apparently the site that I was using was having issues. They're like, no, refresh until you can find like, yeah, there it is. Yeah, the episodes, because it wasn't just like continuously playing as the other ones did. It was broken into episodes.
Yeah.
So
also with the first 2, you get one character with a full segment to themselves, and then the second segment will have the other character all to themselves with like a loosely connected plot thread between them. Very loosely connecting, but the point
thing is, Mike, is that they were played together. Like the segment would end, and then they would go into the next segment. Where this one was like, I don't know why, and I even looked at the other side.
Yeah, it's like
It's separated
Gridon
into
and
two
Bravo
parts.
together, part 1, and then Gridon and Bravo part 2. It's not like, oh, part 1 is just Bravo, and then part 2 is just Gridon, or vice versa. No, it's like, it's just, wow, like, you guys really don't like your best characters, do you?
Well, yeah, because I was like, wait a minute. Where's why did it stop? That you left me on a cliffhanger. I was like, no, yeah. So the thing is, and I'm just like, wait. So you're telling me that you guys split a special, but you didn't split the other specials?
No. At least, and again, in Japan, a movie can be like 35 minutes long, and like you wouldn't bat an eye at it. But like, it's a whole movie. Like freaking Power Rangers, the movie was a little under 40 minutes.
Yeah.
A whole movie, including credits, and like down to the Abba Ranger.
Well, it was
And
even the same thing with the Kaku Ranger special for 30
Yeah.
years. It was like it was all one continuous part. It wasn't separated. I don't know how you could separate it, but I
how
was like,
long was the Kamen Ranger one?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Was it TTFC or was it like a proper like Visa Next?
It was kind of like, well, it was like an episode, so I guess it was like, I guess it would be under a Visa Next, I guess.
Hold on, let me see. Kaku Ranger 30th anniversary. Let me take a look at this because like I'm just Act 3 middle age struggle is it's a TTFC special.
Yeah.
But even then, it was one continuous 30-minute TTFC special.
Yeah, go figure, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Yeah, it's like I don't even understand why like you're gonna disrespect my boy Jinochi and my man Oron like that. But yeah, that really bothered me. Like waiting 5 years, 5 freaking years. And this is what we got. I mean, I'm glad we got like a lychee lock seed. But by this point, because they're trying to push CSM, you can only get them as what's it called? CSM. Can't even get them as deluxe. Like, I'm not a big CSM guy. I prefer DX, kind of like how I prefer Blu-rays over DVDs over Blu-rays. But with that in mind, it's like the only way. Again, it's like a sort of a sunk cost thing where it's like, well, I always wanted a lychee lock seed, and I do have most of them by this point. So I got the CSM set, and I'm like, oh my god, the faceplates, they're not even compatible. That's another thing I didn't like, is that like, while the lock seats themselves are compatible to what's it called? The DX driver, the faceplates are not compatible to the DX driver. You need to get a CSM driver for that.
I'm not spending that kind of money.
Yeah, no. Again, by this point, it's a sunk cost for me because one, I already have most of the lock seats. 2, I always wanted the lychee one anyways.
Because he is the best.
Yeah. And honestly, like part of it was at that point I didn't have the DX version of, can't remember if it was Bravo's or Gridon's faceplate, but I assume that because they might be compatible, so I thought that might have been an opportunity to get all the faceplates I needed. No, I was wrong. I'm glad I got a DX version of both of their faceplates. Actually, I think I got 2 deluxe Gridon ones by accident. But yeah, no, it's like this is a deluxe one right here. Like there's a different one for King Durian, but that one is CSM. While I own that faceplate, it won't insert into my driver.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's one of my that's the other side of my disappointment. And as for like Kachidoki Melon, it's like as much as I really want that one, not only is it a CSM exclusive, but you have to get a full Yggdrasil set of lock seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't even get the melon one because I literally could not afford it, and I wouldn't be able to use the faceplates that it comes with anyways. Yeah,
It needs to be a CSM, right?
Yeah, it needs to be. Yeah, the lock seats can still work with DX, but the faceplates cannot. Okay, so here it is. The Kuroshima set comes with grape, yomi, proto 10, kiwi, melon, and what's it called? Kachidoki melon, along with faceplates for Ryugen, Yomi Ryugen, Proto Ryugen, from the stage play, Zangetsu, and Proto 10 Zangetsu. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get those 6 and lock seeds with those 5 faceplates just so I could get Kachidoki by itself. Oh, and right now on eBay, it's $181 for the whole set.
Or Kachidoki Melon.
For the full set of 6
okay,
lock seeds.
If you're selling a lock seat for $180 fucking
one lock seed.
Okay, what have you been smoking?
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah. There's a CSM Energy lock seed set that comes with 1 through 4 and Hex, and that one is $155.
You know, I never understand the whole stuffing of, like, here's the thing. I have a few rare items, a couple being displayed back here, that if I were to sell them, I could never, I could if I was an asshole, but I could never sell them at a ridiculous inflated rate just for one particular item. I mean, I want to say that if I were to take my American Samurai Megazord, the Giga, as smaller but as close to the Japanese, and this comes with the lantern and the shark, and the other auxiliaries. As a set, I could get a pretty penny, but can you imagine me selling just the shark, or the lantern, just itself, which, like, towards $150? People would look at me like I'm nuts.
Yeah. Say the pre-Ranger Megazords go upwards of $900, but that's because they are pre-Ranger. They never had an American counterpart.
They never had an American counterpart, and I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, sometimes when I see people selling Sentai or Kamen Rider stuff, I'm like, who is actually paying this? I'm not saying that I mean, me personally, I have on display on the other shelf over here, I have 4 CSIs of Kamen Rider O's. Base O's and 3. And the CSIs are the high def, high grade, like, when he turns into his animal forms, he actually gets the animal parts. Like, those high def ones. Yeah. I would pay some money for that, but I wouldn't pay what they were going for, what people were selling them when O's was popular. Yeah. No, not going to do it. And luckily I can find them for relatively a decent axing price. But I never understand why people, when they look at CSI, well, if you're selling a CSI item and we know it's
Wait, you mean SIC?
Yeah, SIC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just call them sick. Make it easier.
Yeah. If you're selling an item that was a part of a set and you're selling it for all because they don't make these on, then why not sell me the set? The set alone costs like X amount. I would pay the set because it's retail price. What you're trying to sell individually, that's not, unless you were like, you're basically asking for half for one piece of a set, which the set is like a 3 or a 4, but you're selling one piece for that much. No.
Yeah.
I would understand if you were selling it like equally divided to get your money back, or maybe just enough to get a little bit of profit. But there's no way that.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and there's also a certain level of risk because things are more valuable when you get the complete set.
Yeah. Why would you break the set up to sell it individually? That makes
I understand like some people only want one part of a set, but you also have to bank on someone else wanting a different part of the set without the one you sold individually.
No, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and also we are introduced to a new villain writer in the second half of this Gaiden. And to get her Lockseed and faceplate, you need to get the Helheim set, which consists of gold, silver, dark, 15, the Hell Lockseed that we see in the special, and a repaint of 15 that only appears in the novel.
Again, you know what? That was a question I had during this season was, so these Helheim fruits can become fruits from our dimension, but is there an actual fruit of the Helheim fruit as a Lockseed? Is there one? Because technically these are fruits. So is there a Helheim fruit Lockseed?
Yes.
Yeah. It took us quite a while to get it, but yes, there is one, which is
you have to buy the Helheim set to get it.
Which is just a recolor of Yoko's armor, but more Arabic, more Middle Eastern, I guess. Even though Yoko kind of already had that.
Well, actually, I would say the helmet looks like it's taken from Indian from the first Gaim Gaiden.
Yeah, it's very Middle Eastern looking, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's got like a face cloth too.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay. I wonder if a man would wear this. Would it still come out the same? You know, because again, technically, I mean, these armors are not. They're not. They're not gender specific. I mean, a woman could have been Zangetsu or Baron, if so inclined.
Yeah,
but because a man got it, that's why. I kind of wonder. Well, if they were to get this Lockseed, or had someone had gotten Yoko's Peach Lockseed, would that have still made the armor look the way it was? I don't think so. I'd still think you'd still be the same, just a bit more taller or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. We do also get Jinochi. You did say about his Lockseed, lychee.
Yep.
Very lychee, very delicious fruit. One of my favorites. One of my favorite drinks as well. You know, lychees are very delicious.
Absolutely.
But again, I felt like you could. I mean, you did some things with Knuckle. You did some things with Baron and with Zangetsu. You kind of just recolored Jinochi,
but added some fur and a Kabuto. I like how he has like a Kabuto horn. Like
yeah. Like he's trying to be like the Kamen Rider, because give him the Kabuto horn, but also like his Mr. Hero suffix that the belt says. So I'm just like, so we're
at least like they made a unique mold for this one. They didn't just repaint. And actually, to be fair, they also used a unique mold for King Durian.
Well, I mean, Durian. What else could there be of Durian? I mean, if Bravo started off as jackfruit,
Yeah.
Then I would have no Durian would have been the most likely upgrade, but
I'm surprised that they didn't just like take like the original Durian Loxy and just painted orange and called it Kiwano Melon.
I don't know.
Because Kiwano Melon is an orange melon that is very spiky.
Oh yeah. But we're not part of the creative department here, so
Yeah.
you can literally hammer out this special in less than half an hour.
Yeah.
Because
because the whole thing is less than half an hour.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so let's do this really fast. So like Jonouchi's is now a famous chef. He even has his own TV appearances and his own secretary who's very attractive, but not quite Yoko attractive.
Before, wasn't she one of the dance group girls back in the day? Not the one that became friends with Team Gaim. I'm talking about the other two because there was 3 originally.
I'm curious, like, who is this actress? Because she does look familiar.
She does. That's why I was like, wait a minute. Are we sure?
No, wait, hold on. This is fan fiction.
Not the
stupid fanon website, making it more difficult to like enjoy actual like real content. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so like Kamen Riders Sylphie. The character Masako is played by Tomomi Giensumi. So I'm gonna guess she is mixed nationality. Yep, half Filipino. I knew it. Yeah, she's Japanese Filipino, and she was a member of Kamen Rider Girls.
She was a member of Kamen Rider Girls.
Since the abolition of individual rider representation, which she represented, Gaim Sumi has been redesignated as Kamen Rider Girl Blue.
Okay.
In her own rights as an actress, she portrayed Masako Suzuka in Gridon versus, and she played Mai in Kamen Rider Gotchard.
Again, have not seen Gotchard, so you would know that one more than me.
Yeah, so Mai is a one-off character from an episode where Nijigon, which is like the Kemi that forms the. Actually, I have him right here. Give me one quick second. Yeah, I have him right over here. Incidentally, for reasons I'm not going to go into, but yes, Nijigon goes missing. You know, kind of like Tenso in that one episode of Super Mega Force. And one of the people he helps out is a trio of idol girls, and I guess one of them was Sylvie.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Gotchard.
You've mentioned that many a times.
Yes, so I'm not going to go into this further. Sorry, Nijigon. This isn't personal. Although it kind of is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jonouchi has gotten to the point of like Gordon Ramsay that he has the paparazzi asking if he is dating a certain idol or not, which we never know who the idol is. But we find out that Oren, who technically he retired from the PTCA for some reason, has now, just watching interviews of him and seeing how Jonouchi's doing, and he's kind of disappointed.
He let the fame go to his head.
Which it's Jonouchi. Is that so shocking that Jonouchi would have done that? I'm like, no, it's not shocking, but I would have thought that, he would have
learned something.
He would have had some humility in his actions, but no, I mean, the fact of the matter is that Oren is just like, oh my God, what happened? Do I have to come back? Do I have to? But then he gets a phone call from his boyfriend. not boyfriend.
Yeah. Yes, because it's very one said, it's my melon prince. I told you to stop calling me that. I don't care. You'll always be my melon prince. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Yeah, Takatora actually felt that, and that's actually the name of Takatora in his contacts is Melon Prince.
Yes, it's like remember blonde girl from Spanish class.
Yeah. And the thing is, Takatora tells Oren that something's going on, that the Helheim fruits are something's happening, and blah blah blah. We need
someone
you
might be using them for evil.
Yeah, we need you to go stop them. And it's like, oh, who is it? I'm sending you the information right now. It's Jinochi.
What? See the play?
Yeah. Oren is not happy because he's like, I have to fight the boy. It's like, well, Oren, first off, I think you and I both know Jinochi's not smart enough to do this. Yeah. But for plot's sake, let's say he is. So yeah, we start the movie, and again, it's just Oren and him at the Shamron, just
Shaman.
Just oh, I'm glad you came back, and da da da. I was like, no.
But someday I will surpass you.
And it's just like, what? But then Jinochi just again, what happened to your humility, man? That you're just like, now the student has surpassed the master, and blah blah blah, And of course, Oren is just trying to make him confess, but he technically didn't confess. But Oren kind of jumped the gun, which I'm like, that's not really a mercenary thing to do,
Yeah. But then he gets assailed by someone dressed up as Gridon.
Gridon. So again, there it is. So it has to be Jinochi. I'm like, okay, first off, continuity error. If this is years after what happened, bravo, that your lock seeds and everything were destroyed. How did you guys get them back?
But I think in the same vein, I think it's because it's years later, Michi had enough time to make more. Because remember, Michi did make the new Kirumi and Maron energy lock seeds.
Maybe, but Michi doesn't appear in this special, so it may be true. It may be true.
It may be true. But, I mean, does he need to appear? Because again, this is years later. This is 5 years after.
He didn't need to appear in Knuckle either, but he did anyway. It's like, hey,
to tell everyone, hey, I made this just in case.
Yeah. So, I mean, fine.
Yeah.
And the thing is that just like old school, as people do, Oren sends a challenge letter. Very old school. You might as well have just shot it through the window with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, or send out a dove.
Send a dove, or maybe just hawk a brick through the window. I don't know. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that the secretary finds it, and Jinochi just is like, I don't get what's going on, but I'm gonna figure it out.
But it's too dangerous.
Maybe he's jealous because I've become popular than he has, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, Jinochi, about to say Michi, Jinochi, Oren was already a world famous Michelin star chef. You don't get much more famous than that.
If I recall, he already has 2 Michelin stars, and he's the first Japanese chef to get one.
Well, there you go. You can't get any more famous than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, yeah, okay, well, he wasn't on like Good Morning Japan or whatever like I was. I don't think that was even a thing, but then again, why would he? He lets his work speak for himself. He doesn't have to go onto some podcast or to some TV show to be famous. He lets his work speak for himself like a true artist. Do we say that Da Vinci and Michelangelo and Raphael, I'm not talking about them turtles, you think they got, famous because they went on a Logan Paul podcast? No, they got famous because of their work. But I don't know. It's like, what happened? I mean, I know years have gone by, but still, like, you kind of forgot what Oren taught you. let your work speak for you. And I mean, I don't know.
And let it speak for itself.
I don't doubt that his cakes are delicious, but it's like, yeah, the paparazzi and all this crap. I'm like, I don't know if Gordon Ramsay ever goes through this crap. I don't think he does, but
no, like aside from doing his shows and his TikToks, Gordon's relatively private.
Yeah, like I don't see any chef like, being on TMZ or the tabloids wondering if he's hooking up with Paris Hilton or whatever, Not really. The cooks aren't really the most what the people want to know about,
Yeah.
But who knows? I guess Japan is different because when it comes to sweets and it comes to cakes, they really enjoy it. And if it's enough, then maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Food Wars changed everything. So, but yeah, we go to the challenge, and I'm hoping Chinochi paid off that convertible because I don't know where this man gets a bazooka, just pulls it out of nowhere.
I mean, same place that Murloc got it in MacGyver.
Just pulls it out, just launches it into his car and blows it up. I'm like, man, I'm hoping you paid that thing off, Jinochi. I really do.
Yeah.
But yeah, he transforms, but when he does, a zipper portal opens.
Yeah.
And just like H.P. Lovecraft, an Eldian-looking tentacle just comes from the void, wraps himself around our brave patissier, and turns him from Mr. Dangerous to King Durin, Mr. Violence. Yeah, our sweet man has now become a berserker.
Yeah,
he literally has become a berserker because this thing just turned his armor slightly more orange, red, and black, and then with red eyes and stars.
Yeah, and he's got like flames that look like scars. But and then Jinochi's suddenly rescued by
Gridon, a Gridon of all things.
Yeah,
and he's kind of like, wait, what? What happened? What?
Which leads to part 2.
Did we mention that this part was only 9 minutes? You're not going crazy.
It's only 9 minutes. Yeah, the whole thing could have been one continuous 30-minute thing.
Look on.
Yep. Violence! Yeah, so Gridon fights off King Durian Bravo, and King Durian Bravo runs off while still berserking about, skulking after random construction workers. And then Gridon says, "Man, I hate not using my regular equipment. Who are you? Isn't it obvious who I am? No. I'm really Hase. Just kidding. It's Takatora?" That's right. It was Takatora all along.
Well, I mean, technically he did have it.
Yeah.
I know in the special it kind of seemed like they destroyed it, but I mean technically we didn't see it get destroyed, so I mean but it was all a trick. Because Takatora was like, yeah, but like, why did you tell him it was me though? Because I
needed to lure out to who the real culprit was.
Yeah, but also it's kind of like, he's your teacher. He would have done it because he would have felt a sense of responsibility because his student is doing something that he'd not approve of. But I'm like, okay, Tori.
But But
This
also,
man
why?
worships your freaking Dolce and Gabbana shoes you prance around in so much. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure if you told him to go and like grab a flamethrower and take it to half of Japan, he would do it.
Oh, by the way, one joke that we did not mention is how the cell phone self-destructed.
Yeah, Takatora, you owe Oren a new cell phone because apparently these calls are highly
Mission Impossible.
yeah, highly sensitive and burner phones. Like, yes, this phone will self-destruct in 5 minutes. What? What do you mean? It's like, yeah, it just blows up. Why? I don't know why. Why did you need to blow it up? There was no reason. There was no reason.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if like Oron just got the new iPhone 16 or whatever, like just pulled it out of the packaging, and the first thing that happens, Takatora calls and it's like, "Hey, listen, you're needed." And by the way, this phone call will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
What? Yeah, but boom, just why? Why? That makes no what was there some special meaning, some special code that you said that just caused it to blow up, Takatora? No, I bet you were just being a dick because our boy throw you a kiss and you just didn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
So
Well,
Takatora gives Junochi a pep talk of sorts, gives him his Sengoku driver so he could turn back into Gridon in order to fight. Bravo was like, but I can't fight my master. I don't know. You were talking smack about him not like just a few minutes of screen time ago.
Yeah. I mean, you talked a big game, Jinochi. I mean, I guess it's that whole thing about like, in certain shows, mangas, everything.
It'd be interesting if
I can't fight my uncle. I can't fight my dad. I can't fight my. Of course you can. Of course you can. And I'm not saying don't go out there and start swinging. But the thing is that the reason, I mean, look at it. The reason why he came here was to try to stop you because he thought you were doing something, but it wasn't. But now the shoe was on the other foot.
Yeah.
And now the only way for you to save him is to kick his ass. I'm not telling you to end him. I'm telling you to knock some sense into him, which is to grab your squeaky hammer and just start banging it until he becomes handsome Squidward.
Yep.
Because serious or back to regular Squidward. I don't know. But yeah, Jinochi is just like he's torn because you were just saying you were going to kick his ass. Now you're not going to.
Yep. So Jinochi runs in, fights Bravo, and
good luck. Because
good luck with that. Good luck. You know what's funny? I'm trying to imagine Jinochi Wheeler getting too cocky. Then he has to fight Sullivan Moto while under the influence of the Seal of Orichalcos.
Using only the lava and the swamp warriors.
Yes.
Not a Red Eyes, not the Warrior of Lone Star or the Alligator Knight, not even Panther Warrior. No. Or not even Giafried. Both Iron and the Wild Knight. No, just the lava and swamp warriors. No, it ain't gonna work. But what winds up happening is that he finds fruit. He finds Helheim fruit growing, which I'm like, I thought we got rid of this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like at first he tries to use the Sengoku driver to turn it into a lock seed, but it's not changing.
It's not changing. And I'm like, no. Jinochi, no. Don't do it.
And who stops him?
It's Hase. Who is embedded in the Force. And
somehow.
I'm like, it's not Koda. It's not Koda. It's Jinochi. Okay, this makes sense. All right. We finally did it. We made it make sense. And it's like, no, it's like I'm your friend. I'm your, Q Randy Newman is like,
Shinochi was on the floor till his friend came and gave him a seed. And like, yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it transforms. It finally transforms, and it's an upgrade to the acorn. Which how acorns and lychees are together, I don't know.
No.
I'm not a botanist, so I don't know. But he does. He confronts Oron one more time, and lychee.
Lock on. Come on.
Yes.
Which for
Because
some reason the lock scene has a different jingle than the actual special.
You are the hero, Jinochi.
Yeah, but here it says never give up, so yeah.
It works either or, but I'm like, as we stated, so this is lychee.
Yeah.
Lychee.
Now I don't have to wear any more lock scenes. I can put them all away. Yay.
If you don't know what a lychee is, how could I explain it?
It's very juicy.
It's a
very gelatinous.
Imagine. Well, it's not hairy. It looks like it's hairy, but it's not.
It sometimes it looks very spiny. It looks like a miniature devil fruit.
Yeah, the fruit has like these little whiskers, I say, but it's not hair. It's not fuzz like a kiwi. It's like part of the plant. It's like little tendrils or something like that. You don't eat that. You actually have to break the skin and then open it.
Off.
And inside, just like the Helheim fruits, it's this kind of translucent, kind of jellyish looking flesh.
I got a simple way of saying it. Okay, so have you ever been to an ethnic grocery store where they have these little gelatinous capsules with a tiny little fruity cube in the middle? And then when you ate that jelly, you're like, what is that fruit? It tastes delicious, but I can't put my finger on what that fruit is inside the gelatin. That is lychee.
I guess also for those who know aloe.
Yeah.
If you've ever had an aloe drink or an aloe, anything, that consistency is what lychee literally is. Although there is a seed in the middle of this fruit. So don't bite it all the way through or you'll be biting the seed. But lychee is
there's a little bit of like a rough edging in the middle because to protect the seed. But that's indicative of all fruit. Even apples have that.
Yeah. I mean, that is a thing. So lychee is a very exotic, one of the exotic fruits because not many people would know of it. But now it is Jinochi, and now he is the hero of this series, which given, you have to be. But also, as Jinochi is fighting Oren, Takatora confronted the secretary.
Yeah, because it turns out she was Kamen Rider Sylvie all along. Now, what's her motivation? It's not even explained, to be honest.
He's just a bad guy for, maybe because the Kamen Rider girls were slowly getting fizzled out by this point. Maybe she tried to extend their popularity a little bit more, but
more like the studio tried to extend their popularity through her.
Yeah, but I mean, they had a good run. I mean, let us not say they didn't have some bangers.
I think the biggest mistake was getting rid of the whole like individual rider gimmick in favor of a color system. Like they used to wear like belts of various riders. Like, oh look, it's Kiva, Deno, O's, Double, and Forza. But then it's like they got rid of the belts, and now they're just wearing like red, blue, yellow, green, and whatever sashes.
So I don't know.
That's less fun.
Yeah.
It's like if you try to rebrand as Sentai Girls, I wouldn't have a problem with it as much, but But considering that you're from AKB48, where there's like a bunch of you running around, you could have just made a second idol group called the Sentai Girls.
Yeah.
Or the Idol Sentai or whatever.
But yeah. So Takatora starts fighting Dilphy.
Yeah. And she's got those cool vine whips, which is pretty dope.
She's got tendrils coming out and trying to kick Takatora's ass, but only for Takatora to whip out
the giant sword.
Is that a repainted? Is that a repainted Gaim upgrade that you have there, Tori? Yes. From a specific stage play that we did not even bother to view?
Well, you did not bother to view.
I didn't bother.
I simply should not have bothered to view.
We simply could not be bothered.
And again, they could have done a quick 5 minutes flashback scene saying like, "Oh, I got the," or like he would offhandedly mentions like, "Oh, good thing I got this from while I was in Ryoma's lab from that one country," and you could have just left it at that. It's like we wouldn't think twice about like, "Oh, maybe Koda got it." Nope.
Nope. But we actually get a. Please remind me of the name. It's escaping me right now.
Kachidoki.
We have a Kachidoki melon, which it's pretty much Gaim's Kachidoki, but with a Zangetsu twist. And
basically, this is what Lord Draken from the Boom Studios comics should have looked like.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I thought the idea of an evil, like a purely evil Tommy Oliver was a great idea, I wasn't too keen on what he looked like armor wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. I felt like it could have been more. And this, as you say it now, this
is what it should have looked like.
That is what it should have looked like. Like some like no, I'm like, yeah, no. Again, the creativity, but then again, it's like, well, that's Kamen Rider. This is Sentai / Power Rangers, so you can't really. You could, but you just didn't want to. You just didn't have the creativity to do it.
You could have said it was inspired by Kamen Rider.
Yeah, could have done something, but it's like no, it's pretty much just.
And you think Zangetsu is the first Kamen Rider to have a white and green motif?
No. Yeah. Anyway,
actually, I'm trying to think. Like, was there
a white and green motif?
I mean, we got green and silver. If you had Cyclone Metal.
But that color green, like a kind of like
a sharp green.
Yeah. We'll have to come back to that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Zangetsu easily defeats Sophie, and Jonochi easily defeats Oran, and the whole thing just ends with a nod to an earlier episode when Oran used to carry Jonochi on piggyback in like the Jonochi Grows Up episode. We kind of like revisit that by having Jonochi be the one to carry Oran on his back, which is kind of cute because it's like you know how like when you got when you're a baby you are carried by your mom, but when she gets old you carry her on your back.
Yeah,
Mama Oran and Papa Zangetsu.
Yeah. No, I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like we never see Jonochi's parents, for all we know. Or on Pierre Alfonso and Takatora Kaze, what's his name, could just as well be his mom and dad.
It was literally a moment of growth because again, where Oran always saved Jonochi is now at that point. It's kind of like what they said towards the end of Gaim, that it's now up for the younger generation to take over from the old. It's time for us old timers to kind of take a step back and settle down, and let the younger generation do their thing. That's kind of what this was, since Oran was one of the older characters in this series.
Mm-hmm.
It's now time for Jonochi to
take over.
And yeah, No, that is 100% it.
Mhm.
That
That's
is
it.
it. That's it. Cue
Yeah.
the well, no, we did
And
that
credit
before.
music.
The
And
the Wonder Years monologue about life happens in an instant. 1 minute you're in diapers, the next you're gone. That
yeah.
happened towards the end of the series.
Yeah, it's
But
like, I want you to train me all over again. Okay, I'll train you all over again. Starting by having you sprint while carrying me all the way to the Charmant. Did you think I was going to go easy on you on your first day? Move it, move it, move it.
yeah, it was again finishing the Gaim Gaiden with these two. Literally,
Those were the best days of our lives.
it was so refreshing. I mean, obviously getting the stories that we got,
Yeah.
and then finishing with these two, I'm like, there was no. I mean, yeah, you finished it off in a way like it's sad, but not depressing.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, those two. We'll see each other again. We will. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a Gaim Gaiden 4 eventually, but obviously, we're not going to cover it right now because, for one, it doesn't exist yet, and two, we're just not gonna cover anything Gaim related from this point on until after we've done all show and Heisei seasons.
We might do a special, maybe.
Yeah, no, because it's like if any Showa or Heisei related stuff happens in Reiwa, and then we can cover that while we're covering that season.
Yeah.
But when we finish covering that season, anything after that, we're gonna wait until we are done with the first two generations, and we do all the movies and TTFCs from the Reiwa era in chronological order from there, because at that point, and even though we technically skipped, the President special because Smart Brain was in it, that is technically 01 territory. So that is still going to be pushed back. Push it all the way. Okay, so before we go into the comments, let's do our end of season cleanup. Okay, so let's start with the villains. What were your thoughts on the villains from... Oh, wait, actually, before we do the cleanup, what score would you give Gaim Gaiden 3?
It's a 10.
I'd give it a 9, but I would...
Because, I mean, I know this has nothing to do with it. This has nothing to do with... But it's a 10 merely because it's just a story that we're getting. It's like, oh, guess what Jinochi and Oran are doing? Guess what they're up to? Yeah. And it's always nice to get to see characters again. It's like, again, when I said in the soccer special, we had that cameo not only from past people, but also Kaito and Tsubasa from Fives and from Maji Ranger, who are two prominent actors who have done both Sentai and Kamen Rider for many years, came back as a cameo just for hey, which is always good to see. And I love that with specials and stuff like that. When you see actors that we haven't seen for a very long time, and they're just reprising characters or roles that they've done, I'm like, you know what? It's good to see that they still got it and that they're enjoying it, and that they enjoy it to come back, There's certain writers and certain people that they have asked and begged, but for some reason they just feel that it's beneath them to come back. I'm not gonna say any names, but you all know, because I'm pretty sure you guys have read interviews or read comments said by other actors about certain people. Which I'm like, this is where you started, or this is where I had the most fun, That's the one thing that I love, is that they have enjoyed their...
that's the thing I love about Ryan Gosling, is because he said in an interview that, his most favorite role he's ever played was young Hercules.
I mean, Sentai and Riders are a starting point for most actors. Some actors they do it because the love that they have for it. You know, I would love to be a part of that show. I would love to be a part of something, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like we know that Metal no Shadio has come back as Oron many times after.
Yeah, and he appeared as a random antagonist in Gokaiger 10.
Yeah, so it's to show the love, and that's the thing with this. And having Jinochi and having Oran come back and just seeing what they're doing. Is this canon? No. Could it be canon? Possibly. Is it important to watch? No, but if you want to have a fun time just to see what they're doing and seeing the growth that Jinochi did and what Bravo is doing, how he has gone through. This was kind of like, it was entertaining. That's why I say it's a 10, because it's just them being them. There's no lore, no story. I mean, but again, I say it is that Bravo and Jinochi are both best boys.
See, when it came to the first 4 segments of the guidance, meaning the two segments of Gaiden 1 and the 2 segments of Gaiden 2, Knuckle was my favorite because, again, it takes place after the series, and like we get to see where Zack is now, we get to see his character development and whatnot moving forward. Like, one of the things I'm not a fan of the first 3, which, don't get me wrong, they're not bad. It's just like I'm kind of tired of going back to the middle of the story.
Well, again, that's why I voted the first Gaim Gaiden as like a low score, because this could have been in the main story. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you had given me like a story, like a one shot of what Tori was doing, what Kaido was doing, Duke and Knuckle and all that. So, well, you kind of did with Duke and Knuckle because it's a pre and sequel. But with just those two, it was like that could have been in the story and you didn't, which that really weighed on the score of being like a 7 or an 8 that I gave it. I think I gave it like a 7.5, but
so
I'm not saying it was bad. It was good, but still, the last
contextually, you're not a fan.
Contextually, I wasn't a fan because I felt like that should have been in the series. Why was it not? But the final was pretty much like a breath of fresh air and kind of like okay. No, that was entertaining to watch those two. Mm-hmm. That's why I gave the Bravo Gridon one like a high score to me.
Yeah, so for me, the only reason why I did not give the third one a full 10 is, and keep in mind, I love Bravo, I love Gridon, but one, I feel like they kind of insulted them by making it a TFC special and not a proper VSNX like the previous ones were. Like, I would have loved to have more time to focus on the characters.
Yeah.
And also, given the fact that this whole thing was a half an hour on its own, like imagine if like how I earlier suggested, have the first half be about Bravo while being trapped in Helheim, and have a lychee themed writer come after him because they used to be a fellow paratrooper, and heck, he could have been played by the same actor who played Belial in the Zangetsu play.
Right.
While part 2 would have been this entire 30-minute TTFC special as a proper VSNX where it's like fully connected. And yes, what's it called? Charlie, which is the name I gave to that character. Charlie was my old partner, but Jonochi, you are my new partner, and me having me as a partner is a sign of trust. I trust you to death. Now choose your path. That sort of thing. It's like a passing on of who my former partner was to who my new partner is. That sort of thing. Like, that could have worked. That could have worked really well.
Yeah.
The downside is it's a little rushed. And because it's only 25 minutes.
It was rushed, but I mean, for what it was, I mean, I was
and
hoping
Sylvie was not a good villain. Like as far as the
I go simply just because Oron and Jinochi. That's it. Everything else kind of just sucked.
Yeah.
But,
Even Takatora didn't really need to be here. He was just there to promote the CSM. Kachidoki.
Every special, like that's the thing. Like we've had nothing but Tori throughout these 3 specials in some way. He's the only
plus the play.
Yeah, he's the only recurring actor that has come back, which I'm like, all right, we can't get enough Takatora, but still, I mean, all right.
Yeah, I feel like part of the reason that they didn't bring Ryoma back is because of the whole controversy around the actor. Because if not, they would have tried to figure out a way to squeeze him into the third one. I'm glad they didn't.
Speak of it, I actually did look it up, and I'm like,
even if the controversy didn't happen, I'm still glad they didn't include him because you don't need Ryoma in everything. Okay.
No.
Anyways, so that's why I give this a 9. It's like it would have been a 10 if it was just a little bit longer, had better pacing, and the villain motivation was a little bit better because it's like, why are you the secretary?
Just because
because it's like it would have been a more efficient way for you to like commit your sinister plan to spread more Helheim fruits, but like. Really? By like becoming a patissier's secretary? That doesn't really make much sense. And believe me, Kamen Rider has a history of plots that don't make sense, like the whole pizza incident with Fies.
Yeah.
Or the goldfish thing in the murder case.
Oh yeah. So what do the people have to say?
Yeah. So we'll do things a little bit differently. We'll do the comments, and then we're gonna do a wrap up, and then we're gonna do the wheel. I wish I could have given just you the thumb notes on the play. Yeah, that would have saved us.
Was that you? Was that you at XYZ? Was that you?
I will say this: it wasn't him, but I appreciate that. Like you're looking out for me.
Notes. We totally needed the cliff notes for that.
Yeah. The Gaiden itself was disappointing because it was just TTFC specials instead of a proper movie like Knuckle.
Honestly, even though this thing in total was more like half an hour, I still
even less.
It could have been a special. Yes, that's true. It could have been, but I mean, the whole thing is that Jinochi is nothing without Oron. I mean, you could do an episode on Oron by himself and it'd be entertaining, but Jinochi, his whole thing was Hase and Oron. So how much could we have done with him in terms of being a rider or anything? So, I mean, yeah, it sucks. It was only like 30 minutes, but still, I'm like, it feels proper.
Yeah, well, counter argument, you could have also said, like, Zack is nothing without Kaido, but Kaido was barely in Zack's story.
But technically, he was there. He was fighting for Kaido, for his honor, for who he was as a person instead of this.
But you didn't need Kaido, like, the actor playing Kaido to be in it, though. Until the very end where he's, like, dancing with his ghost. But
that felt like very, very, like, shoehorned in. Going like, hey, can we get him back? Can we get him back? Just for that, like, that's how I felt about it. But
that's another thing. Like if Kaido's actor came back in Gaiden 3, he would have also been in all 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. And because he's a patissier in real life, that would have been interesting.
Yeah. What else we got?
I can't help but feel like they really glazed Takatora. I kind of did.
I can see it. I can see it, but he ain't accepting it.
Yeah. Too many log seats. Props for collecting as many as you have, but damn.
I have a couple of legacy riders and Watermelon and Duran. I also have Melon. I do have a Melon though. But yeah, I've seen reviews. I'm like, wow, that is too much, man.
I
That
have
is too much.
every DX lock seed except for Suika.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a candy toy of, but
right.
unfortunately, some of them are CSM exclusives, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to own those.
I don't know.
It's sad that KLS 04, LS14, and King LS12 are CSM exclusive. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man.
That's
I mean,
bullshit.
I'm glad I have two of those three. But wish I had all of them. We needed more Oron Pierre Alfonso. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can never get enough of that guy. Oh man, if Bravo had Kiwano Melon. See, that's what I'm saying. Like one, it's a melon, so it kind of ties to his obsession with Takatora, but also because of the shape of the actual fruit, you could just repaint the durian lockseed orange and call it a day.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah. Before you spin the wheel, what season do you most want to review next?
When I was doing some Christmas shopping today, I stopped by a store that had gachapons. They're gachapons, but they're those squishy little plastic charms that you get for Kamen Rider. So I pulled. I got an X-Aid. I got Misato. I got Kaiza.
Mhm.
But I pulled.
Oof.
I did one turn and I pulled two. They were both 0-1.
That's crazy.
I pulled 2 0-1s. I'm like, are you telling me something up there? Are you saying in my? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I pulled 2 0-1s, and I also pulled what was the Cobra from Ryuki?
Oh, Oja.
Oja, yeah, I pulled Oja and Ryuki. So those were like the two team ones, and I also pulled the secondary rider from, or the evil secondary rider from 0-1, the purple one.
Oh, what's his name? Horobi.
Yeah. So Ryuki was a pair, and then 2 0-1s and a Horobi.
Okay.
So
what season do you want to do? We got 20 choices.
I don't know. I mean, one that I've not seen that I probably would probably be, I don't know. I guess maybe X-Aid. I'm not sure, but I know that one's going to be another heavy gimmick one.
Yeah, and it's got its own share of VSNX as well.
Yeah.
And TTFC specials.
Yeah.
So if we get that one, expect more Bravo. No, more Baron.
Yeah, I guess Double would be a good one.
Okay, double is a good one.
Or Forze. Double Forze. Oz.
So you want the whole trilogy?
In anything, I'm like, maybe, hey, Ryuki, just to like get the Rider War before there was a Rider War. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah,
and a Jason Todd special.
Yeah. Something just I don't know. I'm looking forward to the ones that I have not seen. I can't really say which one am I most looking forward to because there's a lot that I've not seen yet. So
okay. For me, not counting 71 for obvious reasons. The one I the least look forward to is Ghost.
I've heard things about Ghost.
But on the other hand, if we do Ghost now, like we could get it out of the way and not worry about it later. So like, but then you could use the same logic for 71, where it's like, oh, just get these 98 episodes and 2 movies out of the way, and you're golden.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a while. I mean, I mean, whatever happens, the next archive we do will be in January. This will be the last. This
last one of the year before
this
Christmas.
is the last one of the year for us. Enjoy seeing Steve's face while you can, because unless he's going to join me for the arc finale of Gav on this week, you're not going to see him again for the rest of the year. So enjoy seeing his visage.
We'll see how my schedule looks.
As for season I most wanted to, that's a tough one. I guess I'd go with the Showa era just because we haven't done one yet.
Yeah.
But maybe one of the shorter ones like Amazon or X. That would be nice. Not gonna lie though, Super One had some funny moments. But if the first Showa season we do is Black, that's going to be very interesting because that's a really... Well, you could tell it's in the late 80s.
I mean, Black RX, you could tell, was in the 80s, and I recently have seen some of it, and I'm like, how did Saban Entertainment decide to land on this show as something suitable for children?
And twisted the way they did.
Well, Twist, they literally had nothing in common, but I'm like...
It's like, well, to be fair, it's like they took the plot of Japanese Spider-Man from 1978 and then just gave it a Black RX skin over it, and then just, like, gave it a 4Kids dub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's not go into it. I'll rant too long for it, but
okay. So before we spin the wheel, we still have to do our housekeeping of the season. The villains from the entire season. Final thoughts on them.
Are we talking about the Riders, the Overlords, or the Invis?
Let's start with the Overlords and the Apple dudes.
Look, the Overlords. I'll put it all together. Well, the Overlords, I will say they had purpose. What the purpose was, again, goes on them. It was... Some were clear, some wanted to cause chaos, others wanted to conquer, while one tried to right the wrongs of the past. So they were pretty good. I said, but the way they went out, the way their deaths, everything like that was like kind of like a punk, which I'm like, we hyped these guys up so much, but they're really not much. But the story that they gave for them was what kept them to me. I'm like, okay, no, these are villains, but again, it's by your point of view. Some just want war, others just want to conquer, and some just, well, we're gonna conquer, but at the same time, I'm doing it for my own reasons, and I really don't care about these people or what. I only care about my own. Some people might find that villainous, but I'm just like, this is a scarred man. This is a man that's lost everything. Mm-hmm. And there's not much to him left other than that.
All
so
right.
The Indians, they're generic. Even the hyper ones, they were generic monsters, The horsemen, and I'm including all four of them, even though it's only three.
That still bothers me.
They were not.
Even Sylvie could have been the fourth one.
Yeah, they were not necessary.
Yeah.
If you had done, like I said, like a battle at Saint Beast Castle or Battle of the Sanctuary from Saint Seiya, that these horsemen, these four riders, served under the overlords, that they were like their knights, their protectors or whatever, and like had some type of story behind it other than, oh yeah, no, they just show up in specials or random episodes for no goddamn reason. They're just there. They're really not connected to anything. I felt like they were unnecessary. Even though I say that Mars technically did make some sense that what he wanted, it wasn't necessary for him, nor was it necessary to bring him back like 3 fucking times. So I could have done without the Horsemen. Just mentioning the 4 Horsemen, I'm like, you promised me the most metalish shit, bro. All you gave me was black licorice.
Oh, so basically, it's like that one infomercial where it's like, "Are you tired of listening to punk albums that only have 1 or 2 great songs? Don't you want to get all the good punk songs in one CD?" And then the first song they go with is, "Hey Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind, hey Mickey."
Yeah, it's literally that. Well, what's a good punk song? I'm the judge of what's a good punk song. I'm a judge of what's a good character in this series, and the Horsemen, not at all, not
They
at all.
ain't punk, they ain't goth, they ain't metal.
They're LARPers.
They're LARPers.
I'm not shifting on the LARPers, but even my LARPer friends in the community will know because they've even told me, no, there's LARPing, and there's people like that. Then there are the LARPers. Well, what does that mean? It's kind of like you saying "fuck the weebs." Oh, it's one of those. Yeah. One of those that really they think they're badasses and they're extreme, but in all honesty, it's like, why are you even here? You're taking this way too seriously. And that's literally the 4 Horsemen. They're what they are. They're like, bro, bring it down, okay? Chill. Your armor looks cool, great. But what the fuck are you even doing here? We're not at a convention. We're just hanging out downtown. Why are you wearing a cosplay?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the Horsemen. So villain wise, they're it's a 7. The Horsemen really brought them down.
Yeah.
That they were not necessary.
Yeah, no, I had to say the Overlords were the best villains in the series. I mean, technically, I would have to include Kaido in there as well. Like, I was thinking about like adding him as like a separate thing as a villain, but like it's only fine because he counts. Because they have different motivations, just like how our 3 heroes. I use quotation marks because technically only 2 of them are heroes. They also have different motivations, so it's like and so like that. So like I love the interactions, how they betray each other. And let's be honest, the way Red Dude like eviscerated Rosio, like that was intense.
But the Overlords are pretty good, but
as far as Yggdrasil go, like only
look,
like I don't know if I could consider Yoko a villain to a certain degree.
Yggdrasil is just Yggdrasil. We are made to believe Yggdrasil is bad because of what Kaido has told us.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, Yggdrasil was just protecting humanity and mankind from Helheim and from
at first.
But then here comes Ryoma and Sid and all of them. And again, is the company evil? Not really. It's the people in it and that are running certain things that are making it evil because again, it's it is the company.
Takatora, who was in charge, like had the best intentions.
Was in charge, but again, Ryoma was that sly bastard that even if Takatora knew what was going on, he didn't know 100% what was going on. Oh no, I'm sorry. He did know 100% what was going on. It's just that Ryoma was hiding underneath the 101%. He was hiding that 1% that he didn't want him to know about. Because again, Takatora said, I want you to create more Sengoku drivers. But Ryoma chose not to. Not because he didn't have the resources, not because he didn't have the power.
Time.
He's just like, no, you said, but yeah, that's all I could make, liar. It's just that you didn't want to make anymore. You're going at a snail's pace. No. Chill. Make them, but we're going to make them. But we can make twice, 5, 10 times as many in a day, sir. Just do one at a time. So Yggdrasil, not so much of a bad guy. Every country government has their fallout plans.
Yeah. Well, I'll at least say Yggdrasil were at least a little bit more clear on their intentions than Smart Brain was.
Anything is more clear than Smart Brain.
Life is short. Life is frail. So why don't you think about true life?
Listen,
But yeah, Michi, not a fan as a villain.
Michi,
Kaido, much more preferred. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I did not care for Bujin Gaim. I did not care for Badan. I did not care for 15. Mars could have been interesting, but wasn't as much.
No.
I don't even want to talk about Jam.
No.
Toka's forgettable. Dark Baron, definitely forgettable. The Butler, don't care for him. Don't care for him.
Don't.
Like, I could go into the bad guys from the Winter film and Drive, but I'm not going to. But let's just say the bad guys from the Gaim segment are more interesting than half of the movie villains we've seen in actual Gaim. Let's see, definitely not a fan of Rio. Like, honestly, he gave me Slimeball vibes even before the episode where he betrayed everyone, even before like any controversies about the act, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, so like as far as the villains go, yeah, the Overlord's pretty much carried. Plus Kaido.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, next up. Let's go into Team Charmant. Hase, Jonochi, and Oran Pierre Alfonso. Go.
Remove Hase and you have an amazing team. Because Hase really gave nothing other than just mixed emotions that were not necessary. But, as we said, Oran and mainly Jonochi grew in this show. They showed who they were. They became better people. Not surprised that Janoshi and Oran are fan favorites.
Yeah.
Through and through. So
yeah, no, you really want, like, you start off hating them, but they grow on you.
They grow on you, and that's the thing is that I mean, we're supposed to like Kota and Mai, and and to a lesser extent Michi, but when it comes to secondary characters, and that's what Oran and Janochi were in the beginning, were secondary characters. They slowly but surely moved themselves into the main cast. That they were now getting like just as equal amount of time on screen, or like their stories were compared to like you would mostly think it's just a one-shot thing or whatever, but no.
Yeah,
they kept coming back. So as I said, I love Janochi, I love Oran. I would cosplay Oran.
All right, Team Yggdrasil. What are your thoughts on Takatora and Michi?
As I said, Takatora is a man's man. He knows what he has to do. He has to take on the responsibility of protecting the world, I guess. Michi again is just a boy. He's just a boy, and just like most children, I've said it before and I say it again. I know it's controversial, but children are stupid, and they have the full right to be. Because it's us, it's our job, their parents, their uncles, their guardians, to teach them. But the thing is that also, as a child, Michi, you too will grow and you will make mistakes. As a young teenager, you will definitely make mistakes. And I say it, and this is just me, from 18 to 24, maybe 25, let's say. I give you the full right to be a dumbass all over again. Because again, you're young, you will learn from your experiences between 18 and 25. When you're from 1 to 17, you know who you are.
Yeah.
But then when you get to be a young adult, it's like you're back to being 1 years old, but now you're dealing with the real world now.
Yeah, and also like the transition to the real world, it's like how prepared you are can play a huge role.
Takatora did kind of prep him, but because of the dance group and maybe like his kind of solitary life, he didn't really, again, he made mistakes and he has the right to make them. But luckily, again, once you pass 25, this is just me saying it. When you get into 26, 27, 28, 29, motherfucker, winter is coming. And if you didn't get all of that out of your system by the time you hit 25, that just becomes a part of you later on. And I'm glad towards the end where Michi kind of like, yes, he isolated himself, but he kind of grew from it and became the Michi that Hoda knew he could be or was before.
Like once we get to the winter film and the Knuckle Gaiden, like we see that growth.
He becomes a great guy, and that's the thing. Like when you're young and all, you gotta go through that stuff, and then one day wake up and be like, "No, dude,
what's really interesting is that sometimes, like as a teenager, you need to have that villain phase in order to have a hero phase as an adult.
As a teenager,
but the question becomes at that point is, what ripples do you make in your villain arc as a teenager? Because while some ripples can be repaired, some might not. Like,
for example, that's why you live and learn from your mistake.
Yeah.
Now, no person who gets into adulthood does not have some regrets that they, man, I wish I was still friends with so and so. I wish I wasn't a jerk to this person.
Like, I'll say this: like when I was a teenager, like specifically 6th grade to 9th grade, I was bullied a lot, and a lot of my classmates were assholes at the time. But what's really interesting is that in adulthood, like there have been people who apologized to me for what they did. Even some people apologized to me, even though they didn't do anything to me. Meanwhile, some people either stayed villains, or there might have been a person who might have like done something so bad that even if they apologize as an adult, you're still not going to be forgiven because of the thing you did.
There are some people that I know that I've gone through that too as well. Some that, hey man, it's cool. Others, I'm like, don't ever show your face around me. I don't give a damn what you found or who you found or what you believe in now. You will never ever fix what you did, But again, that's the thing about growing up. And again, Michi was the avatar for that. Was sometimes what you think is good or cool at the time, Michi, you were lucky to have someone like Kota by your side, regardless, because there would have been many
people believed in you and no one else would.
There were so many people that would have just left you and that's it. They wouldn't even bother with you even still to this day. But even though that Rat and everyone else was trying to get you back, and I guess you did, it took some time for them to like finally, because they all knew Kota forgave you. But for some people, it took them a lot longer. So, Michi, you suck. You suck. But you know what? Later on in life, you redeemed yourself and you became a pretty awesome guy towards the end. So, at least you learned, Michi. That's the point that we must make here, is that when you're young and you're growing up, you'll make mistakes, but hopefully you learn from it, as Michi did. Because, you became the villain. You became kind of creepy towards the end there, but you pulled up and you finally became a good man, and that's all we can hope.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on all of that. Like both with the Charmant characters and the Josteel characters. Like honestly, like I really appreciate how eloquently you really say a lot of these things because it's like it saves me the trouble of saying a lot of the same things. Because like usually I'm the verbose one on the stream. So it's nice that like we're on the same page on a lot of these things. Okay, so that brings us to Team Baron. Kaido, Yoko, and Zach, and kind of Peko, but
Look, Pecco was always the boisterous one, kind of the jerk, but Pecco kind of learned as well. He was kind of like what Michi was going to be, but he learned and he grew as well. Jack was kind of like always by Baron and always kind of lived under Baron's philosophies in a way. He didn't betray anyone. He was a good boy and he had the dreams of dance. Yoko is just best girl through and through. She is best girl through and through.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people say, isn't it kind of weird that she's like 20 something and Kaito's character is like 19 or 18? I'm just like, look, if the roles were reversed, I think there's like a 5 or 4 year gap between them. If the roles were reversed, would you be saying the same thing? Would it be creepy? Would it be? I mean, as far as we know, everything that happens in the show is consensual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
nothing too creepy happened on the actual show.
I mean, I would imagine, again, if it was an older guy to a younger girl, maybe people would have been talking. But again, it's like, well, no, I mean, why are you raising an eye if they're both consensual and she cares for him, but Kaido doesn't really care about her now? Well, Kaido only cares about gaining power. I mean, he cares about he cares about Yoko as kind of like, well, yeah, he does care, but not in that way. Let's not start shipping people here and left and right because we'll be here all day. But, Yoko just is a capable, strong woman. She gets what she wants. And I don't have any complaints about her. No matter what she did, she was never needing a rescue. It's like she did the rescuing in most parts. And as for Baron, well, you can't, for Kaito, you can't really diss the guy because he's been the same since day one. Who he is as a man, who he is as his morals and whatnot, and what he plans to do. Sure, he might have, everyone questions themselves. Michi, Kota, Jack, Pecco, every one of these characters have questioned things that they've done. But Kaito, but he kind of did just for like morality's sake. It wasn't like his goals. He never questioned his goals. He questioned if this was the right way to do it, like what Pecco was doing with the Lockseed battles. I don't want to win from underhand tactics. I want to win because I'm the best. And that's Baron. He wants to give 120%. Well, there you go. There you go. You cannot deny that Baron was not a man of his word or a man of standards, because that's who he was.
All right.
You can't rag on him.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Like, even though you have this belief that, like, oh, he's gonna give like asshole vibes.
He gives the asshole vibes, but he's got.
But he's not really an asshole because like even in that first episode, like he really sets the tone where like. No, not the first episode, the second episode, where like when he catches Pecco, like using that slingshot, he's like, only the weak attack from behind.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was not. He would have been the man in old samurai lore. Like, he had scars all over the front of his body. You know? But you know what was crazy? His back was completely clean.
Yeah. Edward Newgate.
Yeah.
That's an Edward Newgate reference.
It's Old Man Whitebeard, where he had scars all over his front, but he never had, his back was clean. He never turned his back or showed his back to the enemy. He always was up front in the battlefield with his men, and that was Kaito. if Kaito was to be referenced as a character, it would have been Edward Newgate.
Okay, so I found some interesting content from Toei Official. It ranks all the writers by age at the time of their season. Baron is 20, while Malika is under the category of age unknown.
So Kaito was 20. All right, so it
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. He was the oldest one out of them. Malika.
Gaim was also 20, apparently.
Well, again, they did say that they were.
But
like,
Michi was under 18.
Yeah. No, Michi was a boy.
Yeah.
We'll look at Yoko. She doesn't look more than at least 24. I mean, between the ages of 24 and maybe 29. So.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, I'm not saying she's like in her 40s or in her late 30s, but I'm like, out of the group, she's fairly young. So unless they're going by the actual actress's age, I'm like, I don't think
Then
so.
she'd be like 23, maybe?
I mean, probably 23. Maybe I've seen 23 to like 29, somewhere in between that age, because Yoko was not a woman in her 30s or anything like that, or 40s.
Yeah.
She was fairly young, so.
You thought Kaito and Yoko would be the creepy couple, but it was actually Koda and Mai.
Oh, no, don't. How old was Mai?
15. And that was actually mentioned in the show.
No! Wait.
5-year age gap.
Wait, no. The 5 years is not bad. 5 years is not bad, but we're looking at it in Western standards. Okay, I know.
I stand by the Romeo and Juliet clause.
I know.
3 years apart, and if one of you is a minor, you had to have started a relationship when you were both already minors.
I know. Look, we're looking at it through Western standards, and I'm not like, when I hear this, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I mean, they didn't really get together until like the way end. So, I mean, again.
But she was flirting with him in the middle of the season.
I mean, again, everything that happens in the show is consensual. All right. We're not going in like, oh, that. No, they were friends. They, and things happen. And again, it's like, yeah, well, Michi and Mai are both fairly young. I mean, look at them, how they dress. I mean,
it's like, just to get some reference, Mamoru and Usagi have a shorter age gap compared to Koda and Mai.
I mean, I'm not judging it. I'm not judging because, again, if you think about it anymore, I'm like, no. But
no,
again, it's just a thing. I mean, if Koda was like 25 and she was 20, I mean, no one would have said anything, or we wouldn't have the reactions that we're having. But because you're telling me, I'm like, by Western standards, someone get me that blunderbuss right now. But
okay. Again, so penultimate. DJ Sagara.
You mean my buddy Lucy? I love Sagara. He always made it seem like G Gundam vibes. Like I said, like everything was like G Gundam vibes with DJ Sagara.
I love Sagara. He was fun.
He was the man who was the announcer with the eye patch, even though he didn't.
Yeah, with the fake eye patch, by the way.
He was the
one fight ready. Go.
Yeah, he was just I was waiting for him to pull a Metabot Mr. Referee type of thing.
I'm Mr. Referee. Metabot's ready. Roll battle.
Just like coming out of the lake or a trash can or a freaking pipe or whatever. It's like, how did you get in there? That was Sagara.
And how long have you been waiting?
Yeah, how long have you been waiting? Is there a tracker on us? How do you know this? But yeah, no, who he was, who he is, I'm like, and especially towards the end, it's kind of like, he was like, God, I did not see that coming. But still, it's like, you're right. You didn't see it coming. But the thing is, just like most characters of your level, Sagara,
there's always a human that will surprise you.
You and the apple or whatever that thing was, always are inevitable, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. 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 There is always good and evil, but again, when you look at good and evil, it's literally how you view it. Because Sagara is not doing this because it benefits him. He just does it because that's just how it is.
Yeah, he's part of the physiology of the planet.
He's part of the physiology of our universe. There must be good and evil, and technically, Sagara
and there must be perpetual motion.
Yeah,
and with motion comes creation or destruction.
Sagara is the left and right hand, if you get that reference. Where there is good, where he helped and did, there also must be evil. So so he literally is the universe incarnate that even though we removed it from Earth, it's here now, but the process will repeat itself. So it's an inevitability, as where there is life, there must be death. And that's Sagara. That's him. That's fully who Sagara is. Besides being Mr. Referee or the narrator from G Gundam, that's who he is.
Yeah. All right. So last character evaluation, Mai and Kota.
If you were to tell me these two would end up being a thing towards the end, I wouldn't have believed you, because Mai really gave off like annoying little sister vibes towards Kota, especially when in the beginning she's like, "You gave up on the dance troupe to go be an adult."
No, for real though. She was like Sugaha from SAO, where it's like you're playing Alpine. What's your angle?
Yeah, she's like, again, pigtails. I'm like, no, this character has to be young, because pigtails. What? I mean, Japan is totally different, but in America, it's like, what girl wears pigtails after like before or after the age of like a certain age? It's like, well, okay. So she really gave off little sister vibes, like, like where Kota had his loving, understanding older sister.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of sucked that we didn't get so much time with her. It's like, could have been more of a story there, but sadly we did not. Yeah. Mai was just like the little sister that I was like, okay, the fine. I mean, if you were to tell me that she was going to be the love interest, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed you, because how she was in the beginning, but you saw her grow along with Kota. Remember, Kota in the first couple of episodes was cosplaying in his room.
Yeah. Orange, and
whatnot. Annoying.
Kota, it's 4 a.m.
It's like annoying his sister, going around like, oh, this is no big deal. This is like whatever. And then again, episode 10 gave that whole bonfire thing where it's like, or the winter dance where it's like, little did we know what was coming after this moment. This was our last Christmas or summer as kids. And I'm like, yeah, cue the Wonder Years montage.
We'll be forced to grow up very quickly.
Yeah, because I was like,
it could be worse. At least there isn't an evil clown in the sewer system that... I'm just not going to say what happens next, but let's just be glad that there's no evil clown in the sewer system.
But the thing is that Mai did grow. So did Kota. They didn't.
Yeah, like around the 20s, like mid 20s of the show, like third arc, she kept things together. Like she kept all the kids together. She organized the kids to protect the adults from.
She's that person that she doesn't. She will grow up, but she doesn't want that part of her to die, because that seems to be the problem with growing up, is that when people believe when you grow up, when you get into your teens and then your later teens, you got to give up what made your childhood so amazing. And for Mai, it was dance.
Yeah. She didn't want. See, like, you bring up something really interesting, because that's another contrast between Mai and Michi. Because like Mai, she synthesizes like her childhood passion with her adult responsibilities, while Michi tries to like stagnate himself by rejecting both his adulthood and his childhood.
Yeah, and that's the problem. See, how many people do I know when I was growing up, and now as a man in his mid-30s, people look at the stuff I got and they think I'm childish on this, on that. But then later on, they're like, "Hey, so you're still involved with that stuff, right?" It's like, yeah, you still like and watch that stuff, right? Yeah. So what's what's going on with that? Like I heard some words, some rumors or something like that, and or we just yeah, it's like that whole thing like, oh, but when you're an adult you have to give up childish things. Well, who said, man? Who fucking said?
Unfortunately, half the time, actually, no, there's two types of people that do that. One, adults who themselves gave up on their childish things for whatever reason they chose to give up. And the other is, and it could be a generational thing. Maybe their parents forced them to give up on childish things. They in turn are forcing their kids to give up on childish things.
Well,
the other side is children who want to grow up too fast.
Well, yeah, no, that's also a problem too, where a child wants to grow up so fast, and it's just like, again, that's wrong. You should enjoy your time, and you should enjoy it. And again, it's like, but remember when you were the most happy, and I've said that to most people. When you were the most happiest, this was during this time. What happened? Oh, the people in your life, or this, and that. Like, well, yeah, you're right, but at the same time, what makes you happy? What made you? And that was her thing, was to dance and to bring everyone together, because that is what made her happy and made a lot of other people happy. In terms of like, she's like someone that I know, and these were words to live by that when I heard it, I was fairly young, but she said it. She still lives by them. It's like, I choose to live my life the way I want to. Sure, many people may not understand or see it, like, but again, if I'm happy, then that's what's important. I love what I do. I love what I'm doing. I love my moments. And how is that childish? How is that childish?
Yeah.
It's not. It's not childish at all. And I'm like,
I find it really interesting how, like, like how many times people see me being like happy-go-lucky, super goofy, and I collect childish things like video games and comic books and, let's be honest, toys. And like people like are so quick to like discount me.
They wanna steal and judge, but here's the thing though.
But then I say something like really profound, like, "Damn, Mike, when did you grow up and become so wise?" A long time ago, you just didn't pay attention.
You don't pay attention, and also it's also like someone told me. I've had people rag on me, and when I was young, it got me mad and upset. But someone asked me, "Let me ask you this question, all right? You're doing this. Is it coming out of your pocket? Yes. Did anyone help you do it? No, it's all me. Do you have modes of transportation to get there? Yes, I have my own vehicle. Did you do everything you needed to do to maintain somewhere to stay out there? Or did you have the money to buy for that? You didn't max out a credit card or anything. You didn't do yes. This and this and that, but my responsibility, so and so. Then what the hell are you upset about? What are you mad about? You did this that made you happy, and because someone opened their freaking mouth and giving you crap for them, oh, you're such a fucking kid. Why would you do that? I'm like, dude, you're not going broke. You're not getting yourself into problems. So what the hell? This person over here, I know that person.
Yeah, a person who spends $5,000 a year on toys versus someone who spends $5,000 a year on, let's just say, on partying. Why would you think that spending $5,000 on toys makes you less of an adult than the other person?
It makes no sense, honestly. I'm like, some people would look at like, how much did you spend on one night? Doing what? Do you have anything to show for it? No. Yep. Okay, then what? But then when you have a receipt of like, oh, I just spent like $40 on this figure or whatever. What? $40?
I
Dude,
spent
you wanna look at the
$300+
I'm like, if
getting
you
my
have the money,
Jungle Fury DVD
if you have
signed.
the money, if you have the means, if nothing is going in the red or nothing is putting you into problems, you're good. You're great. You paid everything off. There's food in your fridge. There's clothes. You got shelter. You got all this stuff. Then there's no reason to feel guilty, and you're good. So there you go. So and that's mine. Mine was the responsible one. Mine is responsible.
See, this
I know.
cost me almost like more than $300.
There you go.
It's a DVD. Yeah, you could buy another copy of a DVD for like what, $20 on Shout Factory or Amazon. But will that DVD have
Autographs?
Personal signatures of the actual cast? And mind you, my 2 Power Ranger DVDs from the 90s and my 1 season of Dino Thunder have autographs from Jason Frank.
Again, you do you.
Mm-hmm.
You have your fun and be responsible. Yeah. That's mine. Mine's having fun and being responsible. As long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting others or putting others into situations that, then you're fine. But that's mine. Mai and Kota grew to be like, childish and getting their paychecks and spending it all to now like, well, I'll only buy this, but I'll have some money left over to protect myself in case something happens. So
exactly.
There's really nothing bad to talk about them. They are goals. They're literal goals because they grew up together and they now are making an entire universe together. So,
or at least the whole planet.
Bravo to you guys, to Maya and Kota.
Yeah.
So love them both. Love them both, despite that kind of. But again, we're looking at that through Western eyes. So Japan is totally different when it comes down to that stuff.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on the plots and themes of the entire season?
Stop with the pacing and get to a good momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I take back everything bad I said about Gaim. I take back all the criticisms and blah blah blah. I'm a fan of Gaim. I love Gaim. Kota, Michi, Kaito, Takatora, Oran, Jinochi, Hasai. Just everyone was golden. I had fun, but it's just like, again, we did get a little burnout, and the way we're doing it, as we said, don't go the way we're doing it. Take your time. Take your time. But if you're watching the series as it is, I would recommend this as a beginner Kamen Rider for most people. This would be one that I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, as long as you're just watching like the TV episodes.
Just watching the episodes themselves, no specials, no guidance. I mean, if you choose to, please do. But again, if you're just mainly watching the story, just as it is, just watch 1 through 47. I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy the ride. You don't need to take breaks. I mean, if you wish to, there are mentions, just like they have done with specials and movies in the series. They do give nods, but again, you can go back to that. But
later. Otherwise, you're just gonna be all.
I was not in control of that situation at all.
Yeah.
No, I would not. Just watch the series, and then you can do everything else. But again, take your time, take pacing, and you'll be good.
Yeah, like heck, even if you did it the way we did it, it still wouldn't be bad if you did like 1 episode a week, like the Japanese did. But we did them in batches on top of that.
If you want a marathon watch, by all means, you could do it. I mean, you're going to be enthralled. You're going to be like, what's next? Yeah, no, please, by all means. Yeah, but there's going to be some slow points. There's going to be some slow marks. I'm not going to lie. But when it gets going again, it gets going. And you're just like, what? What do you mean? Again, I would recommend this. Like, are you getting into Kamen Rider? Does someone want to get into Kamen Rider? All right, then. Oz and Gaim. Those would be my top 2 for recommendations for beginners, because you don't need anything else. There's no just watch those, because the stories will get you enthralled. You will be sucked in with the characters.
I would say O's and Forza.
You will also Forza. You will feel for these characters watching these 3 series. You totally will.
Yeah. So final question of the night. Are you ready for this? Last one before we're finally done with this season.
Relationships with that woman. Okay. All right. What's the last
score? Final score.
Again, it's a recommendation that I would give to people for Gaim. Gaim would totally be one that I would say, watch Gaim, watch this, watch that. It's a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Despite everything that we went through, it is a 10. I don't want to say it, but I said it. There it is. It's a 10.
For me, I'd say 8.5, just because it's like, individually, the movies are pretty decent. Individually, the episodes are pretty good as a whole season. Well, when you combine everything and watch everything in order, that's when pacing problems come in, and certain characters are insufferable. The effects were amazing.
Oh, yes.
But what really kills it is the pacing. And again, if you watch one episode a week, and then in between certain episodes, you watch a movie that takes place between those 2 episodes, no problem with that. You probably won't have the burnout that we have.
No.
Because we watch them in batches,
Yeah,
and just because Zangetsu is in everything.
I am not tough. I am Melon Lord.
I just had to play one last time. And that's it. We're done with Gaim.
Yeah.
We're done with Gaim. Which brings us to
Is it time?
It is time. So just a quick reminder.
For real.
We have 20 seasons left. Well, to be more accurate, we have out of 29 seasons, we have 20 seasons left, some of which have to be unlocked once we unlock some of those 20 seasons. So this is our list.
There is a paywall, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
But,
so we've now in chronological order by season. We did Fize, Kiva, Gaim, and Build. In order to unlock Stronger, we have to watch all the first 4 seasons. To unlock Sky Rider, we have to finish Stronger. Now, if we finish both Sky Rider and Z-Cross, then automatically the very next thing we do is Z-Cross, because it's literally like right after that, and it's only 1 episode. The whole thing is 1 45-minute episode. If we finish Black and Z-Cross, that unlocks Black RX, and completing Black RX completes the entire Showa era. For Decade, we have to finish all 10 seasons of the Heisei first 10 phase, which we already did 2 of, 7 more to go. And for GO, we have to do all of the next 10 seasons and Decade. So 7 more seasons plus Decade. So in actuality, it's 17 more seasons. Yeah. So the 20 seasons we have left that are currently available, we have on a roulette, and we all know how much you love this part. The Roulette of Destiny. Which season will we use next in January? Ichigo V3 X Amazon Super 1, Black Kuga, Agito, Ryuki, Blade, Hibiki, Kabuto, Deno, WO's Force, Wizard, Drive, Ghost, or X8. Let's see what the wheel has to say.
I can't look. No glitches.
No glitches.
Wheel of morality.
No glitches.
Turn. Tell us the series that we will learn.
Wow.
X.
Wow. Our first Showa era season. That is incredible. Wow.
Kamen Rider X. Now, is that the one? Is that the one with the tassels on the cuffs, or is this one?
This is the one with the infamous Kaijin.
Oh no!
Yes. Episode 25 and 26. Or just one of those two. It's been a while.
Oh.
Yes. Just so you know, I do have the season. But episode 24 is a little bit glitchy, so I'm sorry, Beetle Lupon. I'm going to try my best to give you the respect you deserve, but it's going to be a little tricky.
Well, when was X air? When was its original air date?
73 or 73 or 4.
So, I mean, it wasn't that
It's
long
the
ago.
third of the first 5 seasons.
It wasn't that. I mean, even so, but
1974.
Yeah. So
now, if it makes you feel better,
I have no problems talking about it or referring to the starfish. I have no problems with that.
If it makes you feel better, there's only 35 episodes.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, we got, and we're starting off the new year with this. Well, we won't get to that certain point for a while. Yeah, but proper. I say proper. And if you understand my meanings when I say proper, if you know about X and what we're talking about, you're like, wait, next year? Why is it so proper for next year?
Oh. Yeah. And I will say this, though. And also upside the 2 movies. There's actually only 1 movie because the first movie is actually a theatrical cut of episode 3. So we don't have to cover that.
But this will be a refresh. I'm pretty sure the gods were like, you know what, you guys have been burnt out with Gaim. We need to give you something.
So we're going to give you a short season. We're going to give you a short season.
I was hoping for something like short, sweet, and to the point. I mean, we were going with the Heisei Riders. I'm like, well, there's probably like 1 or 2 movies, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But anything more than that, please no.
Yeah, like if you include Z-Cross, this is the 4th to shortest season out of every season of Kamen Rider so far, because the shortest is Z-Cross because it's just the 1 episode. It's 45 minutes long. I know, like, you're thinking, wait, isn't it a special or a movie? If O's counts it as an episode, I count it as an episode. Number 2 is Amazon with 24 episodes. Number 3 is Decade with 31 episodes. Which brings us to X with 39 episodes. No, 35 episodes.
Well, either or.
Yeah.
It's good that we'll be going back to the old boys finally.
In any case, it'll only take us 8 weeks to cover the entire season. Because unless you want to do the full 7 episodes a week, in which case that will cut it down to 6 weeks. But
let us not kill ourselves, Michael.
Yes. So we're gonna do 8 installments of Kamen Rider X, which include the 35 episodes and the 5 Rider movie.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. Wait, I'm sorry. That was I'm thinking. I was thinking back to Mask Rider when they did that special that was supposedly an episode. I'm like, it's not that, is it? And I was like, no.
I think
that was way later. That was way later.
I think you were thinking about that episode of Black RX where, in the 4th to last episode, I am Warrior Leader. I am Amazon.
Yeah. But no, all right. Yeah, no, that's fine. Kamen Rider X.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to show us.
Show us
it. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed. We're almost 3 hours into this, despite having a 30-minute special to discuss. we did have to do a lot of wrap up because it's the end of the season. Boy, was there a lot to cover this season. This has actually been the longest season we've ever done so far. Even when we did Amazons, we did 2 episodes. We did 2 episodes at a time, but that would still add up to only 15 videos in total, because 26 episodes, where episodes 13 and 26 were separate on their own. And there's the movie, so that's 15 in total. Here we had 17 videos. And
there was a lot. There's a lot to cover, a lot to wrap
and
up.
it could have been 18 if we like separated the play.
No, we're not doing
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I think this is a nice change of pace, and of course, we take the week off, just like actual Toei does. So
yeah. So enjoy the holidays, folks.
Yes.
Enjoy Christmas, which is in 3 days.
Wednesday.
And then the New Year's. So enjoy yourselves. Be good. Enjoy your presents and dinners. And we will see you next year for when we start this again.
Yep. So please follow, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. We do Ultraman Arc on Mondays, Kamen Rider Golf on Wednesdays, Bakuage Sentai Boom Boom on Thursdays, and starting in January on Sundays, we're doing Kamen Rider X.
That'll be one to find, but I think I can find it.
Yeah. This I think I'll do what I can to help you out. As far as let's see. As far as this week goes, this will be our last Ultraman arc, Kamen Rider Gaiden, Bakuage Sentai Boom Boomger of the year, because next week there won't be any more new episodes, and we're fully caught up. And because we're taking a break, we're definitely not going to take a head start on X. No. Steve needs a sabbatical. I appreciate a sabbatical. I'm more masochistic than he is. But as far as the schedule, it will be a little bit different this week because Christmas Day is on Wednesday. So stay tuned for how we schedule the episodes. But very likely, probably going to do Gav on Friday. I know we usually do Gav and then Boom Boomger, but it is what it is. And also, we got some interviews coming up. We're going to be uploading them in the next 2 weeks to fill up the content void, so don't worry about that. And of course, check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do various movie reviews. Today we just did Sonic 3, so be sure to check that out. And we still have 1 or 2 more movies left to cover, so stick around for that. And if you want to follow our personal content, Steve, where can the people find you?
Just on IG and the Simprints. Thank you for all your messages and all your love, everyone. Happy holidays to everyone who sent me little cards and gifts of Kamen Riders and whatnot. It's much appreciated, much love, and thank you for being here, for me watching Gaim. It was a fun ride. Thank you again.
Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. On January, I'm going to try to start streaming again, so stay tuned for that. And thank you all one more time for watching through all of Gaim over the past 4 months. It's been one heck of a ride. In the year of 2024, we covered 4 seasons of Kamen Rider, and we still have 6 more years of seasons left to cover. And thankfully, we got an easy one to start off with. So what are the 4 seasons we do in 2025? Well, you already know the first one. Let's see what the future holds in store for us. Thank you guys one more time. Stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and we will see you all next time. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
One last time. Let's do it. One last time.
X Henshin!